stress host families and fellow classmates for WIP 2013. Our policy paper is on the underrepresentation of women, young people and ethnic minorities in politics, both the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. And it is my pleasure to stand here today as chairperson of this particular policy paper and present it to you. Before I hand you over to Ms. Ollie to go through each section of the paper, I should say a quick word on how we phrased the paper. We took the 5 C's, cash, confidence, culture, childcare and candidate selection process, which are commonly associated as the main obstacles which prevent women, young people and ethnic minorities from participating in politics to the full of their extent. And each advisor will take whichever ones of these are most relevant to their particular group and explain how they impact each group's participation. So, without further ado, I'll hand it over to Bernard.
Thank you, Robbie. Ladies and gentlemen, President Reagan famously said that all great change in America started at the dinner table. I believe that message is true not just for America, but for every country in the world, including Ireland and Northern Ireland. In all our communities, starting at our homes, through to our neighbourhoods, right up to our national parliaments, the discussions we have help shape our nations and create an image of who we are. And all those conversations first start at home, with our families. The problem our group has identified is that for too long, women have been excluded from that conversation. Their voices muted by the voices of men, their opinions remaining unheard. In great countries like ours, with free voting and freedom to run in elections, we have failed to ask or answer the hard question as to why our parliaments remain so dominated by male figures. The first thing our group wants to do is to banish the myth that women are weaker candidates than male. It is simply not true. In the last Dáil election, 15% of candidates were female and 15% of those elected were also female. In assembly elections, ranging from 1998 to 2011, again as you can see, women were successful as proportionate to their number on tickets. So no longer is it a case of women being unelectable. But how do we ensure more women get on the party ticket in the first place? Our report looks at the impact of gender quotas, and we see many pros and cons relating to them. Advantages we see is that it speeds up the process of getting more women involved in politics. It compensates for the 5 C's, those being childcare, cash, confidence, culture, and candidate selection process. The identified barriers for women entering politics, as it allows women to enter politics and bring change from within. And it provides role models for other women to be inspired to enter politics. Cons we have identified are that it diminishes the principle of equality to run, potentially stopping good male candidates from running and may even produce token female candidates. And then our other issue is that it doesn't actually deal with the 5 C's, which are the identified reasons that women don't get involved in electoral politics in the first place. I guess our overall view of gender quotas can be best described by EU Commissioner Viviane Reding's quote. Go back one. I've just lost it. Her quote was, I don't like quotas, but I like their results. And I think it best typifies our kind of view that whilst it is a blunt object, it has a proven record for success internationally in enhancing the role of women in politics and ensuring more women have voices at national parliaments. On top of discussing quotas, our report also sets out recommendations that include extending the role of quotas to local elections, introducing innovative civics modules to our education systems that promotes political activity, and increasing the financial resources available to women so that they can participate in politics. And that ends my section. I now hand you to Maria, who's going to discuss youth and politics.
As illustrated on the table behind me, young people are grossly underrepresented at national levels in both the Republic and Northern Ireland. In the wake of the financial crisis, young people in particular have been affected negatively, with their career, educational and social prospects being severely constrained. Consequently, many young people have become frustrated with the political system, and now, more than ever, it is vital that young people have a voice in government to ensure their interests and aspirations are taken into consideration by policymakers. After we have conducted research in the area, we have found that the introduction of quotas in the candidate selection process for young people would not be advisable. We believe that it creates the potential for token and incompetent candidates. Rather, it is believed that political parties in both the Republic and Northern Ireland are the most influential actors in this debate, and evidently maintain a monopoly of power when it comes to encouraging young people into politics. However, we have identified a number of promising steps taken by political parties to encourage young people's engagement in the political process. With regard to cash, young candidates' election funds have been established by many parties, and discounts are also offered for election literature and posters. Political parties have attempted to address the issue of confidence by running training programs and communication workshops to assist young people in improving their image and speaking skills. Both jurisdictions have national youth forums, Corlin and Oig National Executive and Dáil and Oig in Ireland, and the Northern Ireland Youth Forum and Youth Assembly. These forums are used as a channel between the views of young people and the relevant policymakers. The issue of culture has proved to be the most difficult obstacle to overcome. We have examined the Australian model of civil and civic citizenship education, which focuses on the education of systems of government, the rule of law, rights and responsibilities, and how to understand political issues. We feel that the introduction of a programme of this nature in the senior cycle in Irish secondary education and into secondary education in Northern Ireland would result in a more engaged and better informed younger citizens. It is also an interesting time to examine the possibility, as plans to reform the Leaving Cert are currently underway. We also feel that the potential for creating such a subject could be linked to the lowering of the voting age, which was recommended by the Constitutional Convention earlier this year. Young people are a key asset for the future and prosperity of the Republic and Northern Ireland, and promoting their political engagement is of paramount importance.
Thank you, Maria. I'm going to talk about the ethnic minorities section of our paper. So the underrepresentation of ethnic minorities in the north of Ireland and the travelling community in the south of Ireland is an issue that is becoming increasingly worrying in the terms of our political institutions. The 2011 census shows an increase in the ethnic minority community, and as you continue through the section of the paper, you will see the problems in which this community have had to face and continue to face over the years. The travelling community in particular flags a considerable question of doubt, and that is the fact, indeed, that they are a travelling community. They see the government as the government of the settled people, and due to this, we have to raise the question of accuracy in terms of the travelling community and the census, though all is not doom and gloom. With increased support being offered to the travelling community annually, the level of understanding is becoming more apparent in regards to their social norms. We see this with organisations such as Pave Point, who continue to tackle the following problems. Our recommendations are as follows. We believe that the reform of the Senate to include an election panel to represent the views of ethnic minorities. More emphasis needs to be put on political representations in schools, especially within ethnic communities. Training sessions such as a step towards politics to be funded and carried out within our ethnic communities. Thank you very much for listening, and any questions available at the end of the presentation, just let us know.